Have you ever wondered what it might be like to live in a home that's perched on a cliff or surrounded by water?
Looking out, seeing water all around me, seeing incredible forests.
These unique dwellings exist, and people actually live in them. From homes carved into the side of a mountain to houses built atop stilts in the middle of a lake, some people have found a way to make these strange and sometimes dangerous locations their home. Join us as we explore 20 of the world's strangest places where people actually live. Number 20. The Hanging Temple of Hangshan. If you travel to China, particularly to the southeast of Datong, you will eventually stumble upon a mysterious marvel known as the Hanging Temple of Hangshan.
Yeah, and it's in the Heng Mountain, one of the five most famous mountains in China.
The name Hanging Temple comes from the fact that it is literally integrated into the rock face of the neighboring mountain. Many people ponder on how it defies gravity and remains standing. The temple houses over 40 rooms and various passageways for the daring to explore. Legend has it that a monk constructed the temple during the late Northern Wei dynasty, which spanned from 386 to 534. Despite being restored, the method of constructing the temple by drilling holes into the cliffside and setting poles to support it still boggles the mind. The monk's ingenuity in using basic tools to keep the temple suspended showcases a level of genius often overlooked. An intriguing aspect of this temple is the coexistence of Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism practices within its walls. Typically, temples are affiliated with one belief system, making this one a progressive exception. Adding to its allure, the temple stands 30 meters above the ground, symbolizing the monks' unwavering dedication and the lengths people go for their faith. The enduring presence of the temple serves as a testament to the faith and perseverance of those who built it. If you think this was daring, wait till you see the rest of the list. Number 19. The Floating Villages of Cambodia. The largest freshwater lake in Southeast Asia is the Tonle Sap Lake, which covers a distance of 250 kilometers and resembles an inland sea. In the period from May to October, water is transported to the lake through the Tonle Sap River. During this season, the water level rises fourfold compared to the drier months. In November, the water reverses its flow and the water level reduces. The unique reversal of natural flow in the Tonle Sap Lake has led to an abundance of freshwater fish. Traveling along the river towards the lake, you will see homes raised on long wooden stilts to adapt to the varying water levels. This ecosystem was crucial for the survival of the ancient Angkor Empire and continues to support fishing communities in Cambodia today. The existence of these villages is as a result of a shift in power that led to the expulsion of individuals from diverse cultural backgrounds who were in the country for work purposes. Being unable to return to their home countries and lacking legal status in Cambodia, these people were unable to purchase land for settlement. Consequently, they resorted to constructing simple houses on the lake, utilizing its resources for sustenance and economic activities. These fishing villages are inhabited by Cambodians as well as refugees from neighboring countries who couldn't afford land and settled on the water. The Tonle Sap Lake has thus become a sanctuary for people of diverse nationalities. Their daily routine includes working on the lake, trading goods, and engaging in various activities such as washing in its waters. While some view these floating villages as a tourist attraction, they serve as a reflection of the lengths individuals will go to secure a place to call home and survive. Number 18. The Tunnels of Bucharest. Underneath the vibrant streets and iconic landmarks of Bucharest, Romania, can be found a complex network of tunnels shrouded in uncertainty and fascination. These hot and stuffy tunnels were initially constructed as part of a project by a former Romanian leader to provide centralized heating for the city. Nowadays, they serve as makeshift homes for numerous street children and adults who enter through small openings in the ground.
50,000 of them in state institutions.
The tunnels in Bucharest now shelter many individuals who are simply striving to survive, facing various challenges along the way. However, those who have ventured into the tunnels often mention that while life may be tough down there, it is also relatively secure, with a spirit of unity and mutual assistance prevailing. Surprisingly, these tunnels are not the only ones worldwide where people seek refuge, as many find solace in such locations as their only available option. Within this tunnel, there is power supply and items salvaged from trash to create habitable living spaces in the 2 kilometers long concrete expanse. The ultimate aim is to gather enough funds to construct a new community outside of Bucharest where individuals can live freely. Though this may currently seem like a lofty aspiration, it symbolizes a ray of hope often disregarded by the derogatory term sewer people. Hence, numerous individuals may spend their entire lives underground, just a short distance away from civilization within a society of their own. Have you ever thought of living underground for the rest of your life? Well, this next one will shock you. Number 17. The dugouts of Kuba Pedy. Kuba Pedy is located at the brink of the eroded scarp of the Stuart Ranges, resting on layers of sandstone and siltstone 30 meters deep and covered with a stony, barren desert. It's hidden beneath the ground in one of the well-known dugouts of the town. The town has very little vegetation due to the low rainfall, high cost of water, and absence of topsoil in the area. The term Kuba Pedy is believed to come from the Kokafa Bangala phrase Kurpa Piti, meaning white fella's hole. In the scorching summer months, the temperature soars to extreme levels, making it unbearable without any means of cooling down. Residents longed for a working means of air conditioning, but in the absence of it, they took refuge in the mines, caves, and tunnels they had excavated previously. Well, this unconventional solution proved effective, turning a seemingly adverse environmental condition into a positive living situation that is still enjoyed today. The caves provided a much cooler environment, with temperatures dropping by several degrees, allowing the people to lead a more normal lifestyle. It is believed that approximately 80% of the population of Kuba Pedy resides within these caves, where they have established a complete community with houses, churches, schools, and even hotels for visitors. Although they occasionally venture outside for fresh air, food, and water, the majority of their time is spent leisurely inside their cave residences. Number 16. The freezing city of Yakut. If one were to reside in this particular city, they would have no concept of warmth, as it is considered the coldest city in the entire world. Situated in Siberia, within one of Russia's largest republics along the Arctic River, it is renowned for its extreme cold. Although Siberia is known for its frigid temperatures, there are surprisingly over 300,000 inhabitants in this city, mainly due to the presence of a lucrative diamond mine that requires workers. The Yakut people still maintain their traditional livelihood by herding reindeer, providing them with food, furs, and other necessities. They also breed special cattle capable of withstanding the harsh, frozen terrains of Yakutia. In exchange for necessities they cannot produce themselves, such as snowmobiles, cell phones, and grain, they trade surplus milk, meat, and furs from their livestock. During the brief Siberian summers, women forage for berries and other edible plants. In the harsh winters, temperatures in Siberia can plummet to 60 degrees below zero. However, they continue to persist despite the challenging conditions, and it seems that the Yakuts take great pride in their resilience, viewing it as a demonstration of their strength and capacity to overcome obstacles. Number 15. The peak temples of Mount Fanjing. Mount Fanjing, situated in Tongren, Guizhou province, is the highest point of the Wuling Mountains in the southeast of China, reaching an impressive elevation of 2,570 meters, 8,430 feet. This mountain is a unique and sacred destination in China, revered by various religions. At the summit, there are 2 Buddhist temples perched on a towering double-headed rock formation, connected by a small footbridge. These temples were built on separate peaks, and visitors must cross the bridge to move between them, being cautious not to look down due to the steep drop below. To reach the temples, one must climb 8,000 steps, a challenging ascent. However, those who are brave enough to face the heights will be rewarded with breathtaking views of the Chinese landscape and will be amazed by the extraordinary effort put into constructing these temples in such a remote and elevated location. Get ready to be chilled to your bones. This next one is something you've never imagined. Number 14. The Ice Hotel. The Ice Hotel is located in the northern part of Sweden, approximately 17 kilometers from Kiruna. It is reconstructed annually using snow and ice in the village of Jukkasjärvi.
Ice bar.
I hope your drinks come with ice, yeah?
All of them.
So all the ice here comes from the river.
And holds the title of being the world's original ice hotel. Since opening in 1990, the hotel is remade each year between December and April. The hotel is entirely made of snow and ice blocks sourced from the nearby Torne River, including the furniture like chairs and beds. Artists are given the opportunity to design various rooms and decorations out of ice. The temperature within the hotel always stays below freezing, typically around -5°C. Construction of the ice hotel starts when the weather reaches the necessary levels for snow gun activities, often in mid-November. Snow is sprayed onto large steel forms, then left to freeze. After a few days, the forms are taken out, leaving behind a labyrinth of snow hallways. Walls are then built within these corridors to form rooms and suites. Ice blocks are carried into the hotel where selected artists begin crafting art and design out of the temporary material. The ice hotel opens in stages, with the first part opening at the start of December. Each week, another portion of the hotel becomes accessible to visitors until early January. Regardless of when you visit, you will always experience something new at the ice hotel as its design changes yearly. It is more than just a place to stay. It is an exquisite combination of art, nature, and innovation that forms a breathtaking atmosphere. Number 13. The Troglodyte Dwellings. The Matmata Mountains, situated southeast of Chott El Djerid and at the base of Jebel Dahar, form a cuesta rising dive 115 meters from the limestone and marl rocks of the Upper Cretaceous and middle layers, intersected by various wadis. Renowned for its unique troglodyte dwellings, the village is a highlight of Tunisian tourism.
Wow, look at this.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
The village's distinctive structures are constructed by excavating a large pit in the earth and then digging artificial caves around its perimeter to serve as rooms, with some residences consisting of multiple pits connected by trench-like passages. Prior to 1969, it was not widely known that this area sustained permanent settlements beyond roaming nomadic tribes. That year, prolonged heavy rains caused severe flooding that led to the collapse of many troglodyte homes. Despite this, most residents reconstructed their underground dwellings, with only a few families opting to move to surface housing. Today, Matmata is a popular tourist destination where the majority of the inhabitants rely on tourism and folklore showcases held in their homes for income. Number 12. Casa do Penedo. Casa do Penedo, also known as the Stone House or House of the Rock, is a unique architectural marvel situated in northern Portugal between Calorico de Basto and Faith. This distinctive structure was built using 4 massive boulders to create the foundation, walls, and roof of the house. If you're feeling adventurous, you can actually rent out this boulder house for a stay unlike any other. Construction on Casa do Penedo began in 1972 and was completed in 1974 after 2 years of work. Originally used as a holiday retreat by the owners, the residence now doubles as a museum showcasing artifacts and photographs from its past. What sets this place apart is its dual functionality as both a functional living space with a kitchen and an off-grid sanctuary without electricity, allowing visitors to disconnect and embrace a simpler way of life. This next one has stood the test of time and continues to serve a variety of purpose for its users. Check this out. Number 11. The House Bridge of Ponto Vecchio. The Ponto Vecchio is a historic stone bridge located over the Arno River in Florence, Italy.
I take you to discover 5 interesting stories about Ponte Vecchio, the bridge behind me.
It was the only bridge in Florence that was not destroyed during World War II. Its segmental arch design allows for easier navigation and enables floodwaters to pass through freely. When you visit that place, you may observe the unique appearance of the bridge in comparison to other structures. This is due to the presence of shops both on and around the bridge that have been operating for a significant period of time. The Ponte Vecchio features a 2-story gallery, with the upper gallery connecting various palaces and the lower gallery housing shops. Originally, the shops were occupied by blacksmiths and butchers, but they were eventually replaced by individuals with quieter and more lucrative professions like jewelers. Many people consider the Ponte Vecchio to be the most romantic spot in Florence, as it is known for the tradition of couples placing padlocks on the bridge with their names written on them, symbolizing eternal love. Although this ritual continues today, authorities occasionally remove the padlocks for safety reasons. Interestingly, there is a hidden passageway that is considered to be extraordinary, as it was mentioned in Dante's Inferno. Number 10. The Sealand. Introducing the tiniest nation on Earth. It is a microstate.
I have just arrived to the smallest country in the world!
A sovereign territory located just 7 miles away from the shores of England. Originally known as Ruff's Tower, it was not created with the intention of becoming a sovereign state. The story started in 1943 when the British government established Ruff's Tower as a floating military fort to prevent German bombing raids on London during World War II. When the war was over, the military fort was no longer needed and was left deserted until a group of pirate radio team took over and started their own music broadcasting station. After the radio team left, Patty Roy Bates decided to take things to the next level by establishing the independent Principality of Sealand. He was extremely determined about this endeavor, to the extent that when a group of British individuals tried to intrude his territory to set up a buoy, he and his son resorted to opening fire on them. Despite being taken to court, Bates managed to evade charges because technically, the platform was located outside of British waters. In 1975, he implemented a constitution for Sealand along with a national flag, anthem, currency, passports, and immigration stamps. There was even a failed coup attempt to overthrow Bates and his family from power in Sealand, which they successfully overcame. Surprisingly, there are certain regions that officially recognize Sealand as the world's smallest country. To add to the unusual nature of these things, here you arrive in style using a swing hanging 60 feet above the North Sea, powered by a crane. Number 9. The Atulia Cliffs. Centuries ago, the inhabitants of this area decided to settle on the mountain to avoid wars. However, the huge mountain ended up isolating them from the rest of the world. The village, which is over 200 years old, is situated on a cliff with sheer drops above and below. It may seem unbelievable that they resided so high up, but they managed to do so without being poor, even though it took them a considerable amount of time to ascend and descend for their daily activities. To reach the school in the valley below, children have to climb handmade vine ladders spanning 2,625 feet, 800 meters. Parents closely monitor their children during this dangerous journey. Students make the trip back and forth between school and home every 2 weeks, staying in campus dormitories due to the risky ladder conditions. Regardless of the dangers, they had no other option. The Chinese government became alarmed about the safety of the villagers, especially the children, when they saw news reports of them climbing up and down the mountain. The situation took a turn in 2020 when the Chinese authorities provided them with houses on the ground level, which they accepted. As a result, most of the residents of Atulia were relocated to Jiaozhui County, while the village was transformed into a tourist attraction. The people who formerly lived there now seem pleased to have moved away from their cliffside abode. This next one shows the lengths people would go to survive and thrive. Number 8. The favelas in Brazil. In Brazil's favelas, you can quickly see that the style of living is different from what you see in other parts of the world.
Our salary is very low. In the Rocinha, we have 300,000 people today, most of the family inside of the favela.
The houses are tightly packed together, creating a unique image that also reveals the issues faced in Brazil. It may be hard to believe, but people actually live in these houses. These areas, known as the slums in Brazilian cities, are often discouraged by the middle and upper class due to safety concerns. If you were to travel to Brazil, you would be advised to avoid certain areas due to the presence of dangerous people who may try to exploit you. Another piece of advice from locals is to always be accompanied by someone with knowledge of the surroundings. With a guide, you can discover some positive aspects of the favelas that are often overlooked. Despite their reputation as slums, the favelas host a thriving art community that has emerged as a result of the residents' desire to find solace in their surroundings. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of the favelas is the overcrowding, with homes stacked on top of each other. In Brazil's largest favela, approximately 100,000 people reside in tight quarters, making it clear that space is a luxury in these neighborhoods. This serves as just one illustration of how numerous countries are willing to neglect their citizens and leave them to find a means of survival. Number 7. The Aogashima Island. The island is encircled by extremely steep, jagged cliffs made up of layered volcanic materials. On the southern coastline ascends a distinct ridge that marks the perimeter of a crater known as Ikenosawa, measuring 1.5 kilometers in diameter. Aogashima, Japan, is known for its resilient residents who bravely live right on the edge of an active volcano. This remote island, with a population of just about 200 people, is situated in the Pacific Ocean, more than 350 kilometers away from Tokyo. It is known as the municipality with the lowest population in Japan. What sets Aogashima apart is that it is a rare double volcano island with a smaller volcano nestled within a larger one. The eruption of the Maruyama cone in April 1783 led to the evacuation of all 63 households on the island. Tragically, during a major eruption in 1785, around 130 to 140 out of the 327 islanders lost their lives. Since the 18th century, there have been no significant volcanic activities on the island. Despite its stunning beauty and uniqueness, Aogashima is also seen as risky due to the potential for a sudden volcanic eruption from the massive volcano. However, for now, it remains a serene and unspoiled haven, disconnected from the outside world. Number 6. The Madonna Corona Sanctuary. Nestled in the charming village of Spiazzi, located just a short distance from both Verona and Lago di Garda, is the sanctuary. Situated on the cliffs of Monte Baldo, it offers stunning views of the surrounding mountains and the Adige River Valley. The Madonna della Corona seems to defy gravity when viewed from a distance, creating the illusion of hanging halfway between heaven and earth. Since 1521, the sanctuary of Madonna della Corona has undergone various expansions, reconstructions, and renovations. The most significant transformation took place in the 1970s when an Italian architect was commissioned to overhaul a large portion of the structure. The architect skillfully reconstructed the sanctuary, striving to preserve its essential elements. Despite this major renovation, the edifice still stands strong within the mountain's nest. The good news is that reaching the sanctuary has become easier compared to the past, thanks to the recent renovation of the foot road leading to the site. The mountain path to the chapel, once perilous, has now been modernized, maintaining its popularity as a pilgrimage site where visitors come to see the Scala Santa, a replica of the stairs leading to Pilate's palace that Jesus climbed before his crucifixion. The Madonna della Corona remains a significant place of worship for Catholics seeking solace and prayer in its tranquil surroundings. This demonstrates the impressive skills of humans in creating a living space in virtually any location they choose. You've just seen a mountain hideaway, now let me introduce you to some hidden gems engulfed within and under the canyons. Number 5. Setenil de las Bodega. This small village lies 157 kilometers northeast of Cadiz. It embodies picturesque location nestled in a narrow river gorge, famous for its dwellings built into a rock that hangs above the Rio Guadalporcun. The town stretches along the path of the Rio Trejo, with residences built directly into the rock walls of the gorge, either by enlarging natural caves or adding external walls to overhangs. It is a charming white village in Spain where houses are seamlessly integrated into the canyon's rock faces, with some dwellings appearing to precariously hang beneath massive rocks. The canyon itself was formed by an ancient creek, now much smaller, providing the perfect conditions for cultivating olive groves and vineyards, which is what the area was primarily used for. It is quite unsettling to witness people nonchalantly strolling under the rocks, illustrating the sense of safety and confidence in the sturdy construction of the houses. It is worth noting that some parts of this area are elevated above the ground and the canyon, and has a lovely tower that is a popular attraction that people come to visit. Even when viewed from the side, the place is truly remarkable. This serves as proof of the talent of humans and their capability to create a living space in any location they desire. Number 4. The City of Souls. Colma serves as the burial ground for San Francisco, situated to the north of the city. When San Francisco started to grow rapidly and the death toll began to rise, the decision was made to establish cemeteries outside of the city limits. Due to Colma being undeveloped and sparsely populated, it was chosen as the ideal location for these new graveyards. Soon after, San Francisco relocated its cemeteries and transferred the bodies to Colma for reburial. Death has become the central theme of the town ever since. Instead of the usual sight of luxurious hotels and sunny resorts, Colma is recognizable by its elaborate tombstones and well-maintained cemetery grounds, setting it apart from others in California. In Colma, death is not only a part of life, but may also be tied to one's occupation. The residents of Colma have come to accept death with a sense of pride, referring to their town as the City of the Silent or the City of Souls. A small town with a population of only 1,700 packed into a 2.2 square mile area is home to more than 1.5 million deceased individuals. Surprisingly, 73% of the town's land is dedicated to cemeteries. Founded in the early 20s to address San Francisco's burial space shortage, Colma's unique situation has become its defining characteristic, even being featured on local merchandise. This lifestyle has inspired a funny slogan that was once seen on the city's webpage: "It's great to be alive in Colma." Number 3. The Liziba Station. Urban planners have devised an innovative method to bring public transportation close to city residents while preserving living spaces. In southwest China's bustling city of Chongqing, there is a remarkable monorail station that spans through a towering high-rise structure. The Liziba Station is part of the Chongqing Rail Transit 2 system, inaugurated in 2005, and is nestled between the 6th and 8th floors of a 19-story building that also houses various apartments. Contrary to the people's idea, the monorail does not penetrate the building due to an error in the planning process. Instead, the station and residential units were meticulously designed and constructed as a unified edifice. The high-rise is divided into 2 sections. The lower 7 stories accommodate the station, while the upper 11 stories serve as residential space. This architectural feat aims to efficiently utilize the limited urban space available in the city by integrating accommodation and commerce within the same building. Surprisingly, inhabitants of the apartments have not raised concerns about noise disturbances caused by the passing train, as the sound level reaches only 75.8 decibels, the same as an ordinary conversations held at a restaurant. Plus, the building experiences minimal vibrations from the train's movement. The integration of a train track within a high-rise structure has undoubtedly made a bold statement in Chongqing, showcasing a harmonious blend of architectural creativity and advanced engineering techniques. All these bizarre places with people living in them. What do you think number 1 would look like? Number 2. Freedom Cove. Hidden within the remote waters off the western coast of Vancouver Island lies a secret gem known as Freedom Cove. This self-sufficient floating abode consists of a main structure, various smaller buildings, a lush garden, and even a dance floor for Catherine's enjoyment. Wayne and Catherine take care of their own sustenance, with Catherine tending to her fruit and vegetable crops, while Wayne sets out in his canoe to fish. Living on this man-made floating island, the couple proudly declares their contentment in residing on the ocean without the need to frequent dry land. Their unique living arrangement is made possible by a clever system of interlocking steel doors salvaged by Wayne from an old fishing farm, emphasizing their commitment to sustainability through the use of reclaimed materials. Their cozy habitat is a testament to their resourcefulness, allowing them to grow their own food and minimize trips to town. Despite the continuous maintenance and adjustments on their floating refuge, the couple remains unfazed, cherishing their artistic haven and envisioning it as their permanent residence for years to come. With the determination and creativity of this duo, the possibilities for their future on Freedom Cove seem boundless. Number 1. The Scarecrow Village. Upon first impression, most visitors to Nagoro Village may perceive it as a quaint rural community where elderly people peacefully engage in gardening and fishing activities. However, upon closer inspection, one may be taken aback by the realization that many of the figures present are not actually real people but scarecrows. Nagoro Village, also known as Kakashi no Sato or Scarecrow Village, is a distinctive town located by a river in Tokushima Prefecture, situated on the smallest island in Japan, Shikoku. The scarecrows that populate the village are all meticulously handcrafted by a longtime resident named Ayano Tsukimi. What initially began as a practical measure to protect the family's crops from birds, with a scarecrow fashioned in her father's likeness, has evolved into an ongoing artistic endeavor that also serves as a tribute to the community's history. In response to the dwindling population of villagers over the years, Ayano took it upon herself to introduce a new addition of community members with friendly faces. By utilizing old garments filled with newspaper and cotton, she successfully revived the once vibrant neighborhood, even going as far as making scarecrows in memory of deceased persons in the community. With scarecrow inhabitants outnumbering human residents by a ratio of 10-to-1 in this secluded area, they have been embraced by the locals and are often hailed by the community as symbols of cherished memories from the past.